This is John Paul Rye. I'm coming to you from Tokyo, Japan. Some people call me. So, the case with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard keeps getting more and more complex. Today, the son's lawyer drilled Johnny about drugs. I ended up clipping out 23 pages, so that will be covered after this video. I've got some experience through the eyes of close family, so we will get very deep into it. Hollywood actor Johnny Depp pictured accused his ex-wife Amber Heard of severing his finger by throwing a vodka bottle at him in an explosive rage. We know all about it, but they just talked about it recently in court. The actor, 57, is suing News Group newspapers over a story published in The Sun in 2018 which branded him a wife-beater, a claim he denies. And let's not forget, that is the main point of this case. So, with the drugs, they're going to try to go all the way around, jump through hoops, do these circles, when it doesn't actually have anything to do literally with the abuse. I guess some people could argue that maybe drugs will cause you to be the abuser, but the type of drugs they talk about, which is ecstasy and medication, things like that, are really not the type of drugs that make people aggressive. The trial kicked off at the High Court in London today with both Depp and his ex-wife Amber Heard, 32, in attendance. They always get her age wrong. She's 32, she's 37, I think she's 34, whatever. So this was still from day one. In court documents, the holiday actor accused his former partner of being violent towards him during their marriage. Depp alleged he became embroiled in an explosive argument with Heard on a 2015 trip to Australia when he was filming for the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. He claims he was left in need of hospital treatment after Heard hurled a glass vodka bottle at him. And this seems like some of the heaviest, worst part of the abuse. Here we see it. The court was shown a picture of Depp lying in a hospital bed while another gory shot showed his severed finger, which I do not want to show. I'm sure you guys have seen it. I think this is enough. So like I said, this to me, since I've been following this case, has been the main thing. This is what should be talked about for the whole 3 days. And when they get into drugs, like I said, they start jumping through hoops, they start getting into complicated things that don't have to do with these physical incidents. In his witness statement, which was presented to the court today, Depp said, "Ms. Heard and I were in Australia in March 2015 while I was working on the Pirates of the Caribbean film series. There was a significant argument between me and Ms. Heard on March 8th, during which I sustained a severe injury. The only person who was harmed in Australia, grievously so, was me in March 2015 when, as I described below, Ms. Heard threw a vodka bottle at me that cut my finger off when the bottle exploded on the bar on which my hand was resting." He went on to detail the alleged incident, adding that a row broke out and he went to the bar in a house they'd rented to escape. Depp claims he broke his sobriety by downing a shot of vodka, which prompted Heard to throw the bottle at him. In his witness statement, he said, "Under the stress of the situation, I poured myself a glass and drank it. A glass of vodka and drank it. It was with this glass that I broke my sobriety, but I needed it to numb the pain that I was in as a result of Miss Heard's insults and behavior." And one of those insults, he said, was being called a terrible father, which I could tell you, it's a pretty bad insult. It's one of the worst. Or a bad parent if you're a mother too. Makes no difference. And it's one of those insults that's kind of like mean, vindictive, really nasty. When Miss Heard came down, she accused me of drinking again. I think I said words to the effect of, "Yeah, apparently I am drinking again." This angered her hugely, so she walked around the bar area, took a bottle of vodka, and threw it at me, narrowly missing my head and smashing into the mirror and bottles behind me at the bar. I tried not to react, so I got up and slowly walked around the bar myself, grabbed another, bigger bottle of vodka, and poured myself another glass. This enraged Heard further, and she came over and grabbed the bottle from me. I then swung round behind the bar stool, and Miss Heard threw that bottle at me as hard as she could from a fairly short distance. The bottle smashed against my hand, which was resting on the marble top of the bar, severing the top of my finger and fracturing multiple bones. He went on to claim that Heard continued shouting at him and then proceeded to put a cigarette out on my right cheek, which is pretty sick too. Heard has given her own version of events, claiming Depp attacked her while high on drugs and sliced his finger off when he smashed a plastic phone. A statement presented to the court by lawyers for NGN stated, Depp grabbed Miss Heard by the neck and collarbone, slammed her against the countertop, and strangled her. Miss Heard's arms and feet were slashed by the broken glass on the table, countertop, and floor. She was scared for her life and told the claimant, "You are hurting and cutting me." The claimant ignored her, continuing to hit her with the back of one closed hand and slammed a hard plastic telephone against a wall with his other until it smashed. So the thing is, Amber's side of the story is a little bit different, and it doesn't make so much sense when you think about the physics and the logic. While he was smashing the telephone, the claimant severely injured his finger, cutting off the tip. How do you smash a phone and cut off the tip of your finger while you're doing that? It seems a lot more likely that while your hand was already resting on a hard surface, that an object could be projected towards that surface and cut the top off. I'm hoping and I'm thinking that the judge, the jury, the people watching the case will also just get this simple logic in their head. A channel called Incredibly Average covered this. He's got it down to the science, so I'm thinking that it couldn't happen from Amber's point of view. And, I just gotta say once more, this should be the main conversation, and when I read over the conversation and the statements about the drug use, I got over 20 pages out of it. I will cover that. I couldn't even do it tonight. I would have been up all night and got no sleep. That will happen though. Anyway, stick around for that. If you're new here, consider subscribing. I'm doing shoutouts, special thanks, Amber Heard vs. Johnny Depp, pop culture, even some Star Wars sometimes. If you subscribe, you'll get videos, some nice Photoshop stuff. It'll be great. If you don't subscribe, well, I'll be pretty sad, but I'll get over it. See you next time.
Central Parkway in